Wow, we're back. Now I want us to talk about this is big. I don't know why I call it ruracio because other cultures do not understand it as ruracio. What is it in English? Dowry process.
It's called ruracio. The Kikuyus.
How English in ruracio? Ruracio. Yeah, that process. So people who do not understand Kikuyu, we're talking about the dowry process.
Yeah.
So I want you to take us through your process.
Yeah.
Like from when you decided to do it, how you financed it, because COVID time, wewe ni deep state. Yeah, COVID time ulipa ruracio wewe. Yeah, take us through the process.
Yeah. So after we did, now we are going through premarital
Introduction.
Those remember that they're still
Kuhada the gay.
Zini pesa hizo.
Yeah.
Was every visit to
Tumefanya events more.
Every visit because tunakuja tena.
Even me, I was like, please stop it. Aki, we are going to live where? If all the money he spends on you guys.
No one shikanisha visits. Ati nika introduction ya kwanza nimalisha na Ronani.
We were lucky by the way. Tulishikanishiwa zote tatu in one. Like they said, you want to make the process easy for you. Come do all the three in one. And that's what we did.
Wife bado kana masizi. Tutume vijana huko.
Unfortunately, Bell walifungwa tu. Bell.
So we sat down with my folks. So yeah. No, it starts with you talking to your parents.
The list. So me, I was like, hey guys, you know how things are, and you know what he does. Also, me, I want to live well after the wedding. But my parents are like, okay, we won't nini him, we won't harass him. So the good thing is my grandpa says he was not harassed. And his children not harassed. So why should my grandchild? So musi harass huyu kijana. So that helped. However, bado kulikuwa na the two things. Kuna two things tu zenye zinani sijui nani aguka sijui blanket ya what. So there was that list. So before he was given the list, I was given the privilege to go through the list. I was like, this is nonsense. What is this? Me, this money, blanket ya mtoto, do I look like a child? Remove the thing. What is that? And it's a lot, inakutaka 10k uko like akika blanket, na hata tutawaiona. As in, hizo vitu zilikuwa zinanibother sana. So, they adjusted the list because I was like, this is ridiculous. But I feel like they tried. It was still huge, but they were not actually stuck on this is how it should go. So they really extended grace to him. So me, Lazma, every single time they would add something, I'm like, hey, remember, you want your child to live well. And they would kind of listen. So yeah.
I remember before I received the list, my wife aliniambia anataka kuniletea personally. Nilimwambia hapana.
Nilimpigia picha.
Nataka nikuje nikuwe na wewe ukireceive.
Because nilikuwa like woi.
So took a picture, nikaiona nikaigo through kama guy. Mungu wangu. Ajia sababu.
Na iko na katoto hapo chini. Toto la mawe.
Nasema oyo.
Sasa kulikuwa na event ya officially hand over the list, which for me I was like, that's ridiculous. Too many to your list na rider. As in
Rider.
Tuma na rider. Rider ni 3 socks. Sasa mnamuita his family, his friends, wakuja tena wa receive list. Watu edo.
Kwenda kureceive ni
By the nilisikia yo.
People have gathered for you.
That thing finished me. But the good thing about that day is that they were able to negotiate some stuff, no? Yeah.
Wow. So now this is where I came with some wazes. We sat down, list ikatokolewa nini, so we were able to this is what we ask. This is not necessary. Nini wakaanza
ku negotiate ngombe itaenda bei ngapi reduce.
So we were able to discuss hapo, and by the time you're going home you feel some weight imetoka off my shoulders, but still
it was something.
Still unaangalia zile vitu zinaitishwa before upeane mbuzi moja, zile vitu ati madhi yeye ndiye anafaa kukamnazo, unaziangalia unasema guy this
kuna mpaka sufuria
Zile kubwa. Ndio naweza ogandani kaja kuzi.
Right? Oh, as I guys.
Kunza madhi bei hiyo sufuria like
na jina, they call it ro something, roranjo ama I can't remember.
Roreja. Yo yako ni ya West.
Ranger.
Inakaa bado Range Rover. So I went to sit down na mom, kapitia hiyo list. And those journey hizo vitu zote zitapatikana. Can remember it's a low season for me business wise. Yeah. So I can't say there's
kuna deal unangoja.
No. And every money I had even before nilikuwa nimetumia juu COVID. So nikaanza from scratch.
Na uje bado analipa rent.
Yeah. So
life inaendelea.
Hakuna pause on the landlord
niko na ruracio. So relax.
Hata nikawa unitakiangi.
Kila end month we had a problem. Because Alex was not okay. As in, and then it was a call landlord. So the good thing it was not an agent, it was a landlord. But a call says le pasia mesema this week you'll never lack. Akitoka service miss calls 10. Hivyo hata as in unatoka church ukiwa revived, hopeful, but no, alafu ni rent na this week by the end of the week una need pesa za ruracio.
Sio do ingine inafaa uende upeleke sio ifanye nini na nini.
And need kununua hizo vitu size drew. So he was but he lost weight. A lot of weight.
Unafikiria hindwa. Who needs 2 kidneys?
Moja ina sort the whole gig.
Adam give up a rib, I give up a kidney. Sinivo.
Yeah.
Unakaa chini, alafu unasikia unaweza ingia match. Nilisikia kusema hicho anasema ni 9 azi wewe.
Ulisema 8.
Wewe. Don't mess with my mind. Then spending was an itchy edge as in
yeah.
God, yeah, I know.
Even of the places tunaenda kukula, sitaki kusikia wewe.
Na hiyo ndo season nilikuwa like acha nisimstress. Ayuko poa.
If you can save it, let it be saved.
Yeah.
But my mom was able to help me. Yeah. Cover some things kayo za mama za nini. My friends wakachipina hapa na pale to cater for service providers on the day of the ruracio, tent, sound, nini. And then by the grace of God, I was able to get bookings. But season God alikuwa na make his way happen yani. And I was able to raise money na nika combine ya sasa ile mnaingia nayo kwa hao. Yeah. And the good thing is because of the connection that was there before. Yeah. And how beautiful the day became. Even by the time watu wanaingia kwa how could deliberate and negotiation, there's so much love.
Yeah.
There's a bond. So haikuwa na hapana tunataka.
There was so much favor. He received so much favor.
There was so much, and it was so smooth to a level whereby some of the guys that had come with wazee were wondering,
this has never happened before.
Never happened yani. Yani ni shika ni hivyo. Twende nje. It was so smooth that God was seen in it. Wow. That because we had even paid for the ruracio, we didn't want so many. Ruracio, when you get to cultural, Christians are very torn in between.
Yes.
Am I Christian Kikuyu or Kikuyu Christian?
Yep.
What comes before?
Hey, because I remember feeling like wedding kwa hiyo day we had everyone that we needed.
Yeah. Because we could have done the wedding.
Wow.
I mean, because it was so stressful. It was ridiculously stressful.
Tungesema tumalize ruracio tushikanishe hapo.
Yeah.
But mom anasema, according to the Kikuyu culture,
we must do this.
Wazi na uolewe udhoni hiyo ni kuolewa. Kufanya harusi udhoni hiyo ni kuolewa unaolewa huko. Hivi kwa venue nyingine. So there was
yeah, I get that.
Unaniget that kama ruracio kwa in an open field. Mefanyia huko sawa mnaweza shikanishwa.
Seriously. That was the nini.
Yeah.
I remember my mom telling me something like that. It was ifanyia activities zingine kwa udhoni. Yeah.
So it was a very stressful process of bringing resources together to do ruracio. Very stressful. But God being God and him being wanting to be part of the equation and wanting to have the full say, and so that even as I tell my story, he gets the glory.
Yeah.
He made sure that I was running to him for everything.
Wow.
The Lord God, I need this, I need this.
Yeah.
No, unajua nguo yangu ya ruracio.
Aqua avae nguo.
Nguo ya ruracio, bro.
By then nilikuwa na bring up utavani, he was like, but that's a non-issue.
Cause unashindwa hii 6K.
Yeah.
Wacha niongeze pale.
Wacha niongeze kwa the, and it used to stress me at some point. I was like, you know what, sawa, you whatever you will wear.
I remember do ya nguo ruracio ni kesho. Ndipo nilipigia fundi ngambia nimepata do. Anza kushona. Nilitoka tawa I think midnight. Akimalizia kushona hapo.
Yeah.
You still have to think of how you will go home. But where Shona kesho ni mnaenda nini?
And they didn't allow me to see him. They didn't even, like, because you're in the room as the bride. So I was like, show me a picture of Alex. What is he wearing? And everybody's like, he looks so good. Wow, he looks so good. And I'm like, what is he wearing? As in that, and everybody refused for me to see him. But, anyway. Yeah, you experience, by the time the event ended, all you could say was thank you, Lord.
Wow.
All you could give glory towards God. Because the day before, you're like, tuna need pesa ya tent. Unajua nani vitu necessary. Sisemi tent ati cause nataka deco. No, tuna need tent. Na tuna need seats. Hakuna tu ya hizo vitu. But then honestly, our friends really came through for us. So if it was not for our friends,
maybe you can tell us more about the ruracio, how the day was in terms of your expectations versus reality again, because there's always what you expect and how you see it and how it goes. It doesn't necessarily have to be bad, but it's not what you had planned. I
think your day ilikuwa na tension because nyinyi ndio mnakuja. There is the logistics of transport. The guys who are coming from where they're supposed to meet where, and then there is the general meeting point that you're meeting with people. And you're still worried about money. But that morning certainly nilikuwa poa. Excuse me. There are things still that are not working out in terms of financially, and I feel that kikapu yetu bado si mzito vile ningetaka yani. And this chick deserves even more than what we were asked for. So at least what you were asked for, yani, at least at least waze ini depo vikisha depo. So I would feel waze I need more resources. Then wase wananisumbua sijui nimepotea wapi na wengine napatia na simu ongea na huyu. So by the time tunafika the meeting point, and at least I knew the guys who are setting up. I know them well, so I know they're doing a good job. We met and we started now proceeding to home. Because I'm in events, still nataka kuna kitu ina slack. Ama ni kama tunajipool. We said we'll be there by 1. Why are we still not there?
Muko kwa stage.
Tunasema nani aachwe, mama anasema hatuwezi muacha.
Huyo tunamnini.
Lazima abebwe.
Anaongea ndani.
So nilikuwa up and down. By the time nafika venue, but then nilikuwa nimesweat libidi mazee kwanza nitafute hankia nijipop up because I was gig mode mbaya. So I was able to enjoy ruracio after food. Nimefika, tumesettle, tumeingizwa huko ndani nini, songs zimeimbwa za kuingia nini, tumekaa chini, tumekula food. Sasa like nimeanza sasa kutulia. How's the money? Do iko poa. So I can start enjoying the event. In the back of my mind, niliambiwa vile niko na Mwakenya. Ya vile wife anafaa kuwa. But still niko worried. Niko worried.
So he's worried. Sisi uko ndani, everything we had covered, like our hints, this is what this is who and all my friends are almost all the same height. I'm just slightly taller than a few. So then my friends now, I'm like, guys, you let a photographer apige picture for for fun, and then my aunties won't whatever, then I end I'm sure. But then my aunties wamekava, yani kai tulifunikwa, nilivalishwa hadi socks. Tulivalishwa socks sisi wote, they really wanted money. As in
kuzunyi kwa do yao.
Hiyo but then walifunika everything. So now what happened, kulikuwa na venye you know the way your wife alikuwa na same leso. So for us we had so they didn't do the same leso thing. They were like tasho. But when you wali swap, we were able to play around with it. That kulikuwa na red na green. So kuna beshte yangu mwingine alikuwa na red na ya juu ni red, ya chini ni green. So then there's a pal of mine who also had the same. Then we are like, okay, no, you go change. So she said, allow me to in the washroom kwanza. And then my aunties were like, unaenda after trouble za kufunga. And she's like, no, wacha niende. So she swapped the lesos and they didn't even realize. So then it was word, she's the one with the red on top and the green at the bottom. So that's how. But then alafu, I think my aunties are just on a high. So mimi ndo nilikuwa mwisho kutoka. Mademote washaenda. So mimi nikakamwa last. Maura knows my walking style.
So nilipoiona and I was sure it was her. Yeah. So what I dramatized the whole thing now. Because I already know who it is.
Is there a video?
Yeah, there's a video of that. Yeah. So I dramatized the whole thing to show I know who it is, but let me mess with the auntie's minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's too late. It's too. We already married.
Pesa yangu mtakula.
Hiyo siku hata best maid yangu alikuwa like pigwe picha tulipigwa picha mob. And then the photographer was so nervous, a lot of the pictures were blurry because he was like atapatikana ni nini anadu. It was so funny though. Yani tu mora enda onyesha alafu unaona. So then we're going to make sure none of us have phones so that he's not told what's going on. But who's my best mate? Chini aleso hapo. Yeah.
And you know, I knew where she is, so I would go there and tease her. And nikana na kumchukua naona hata vile mana aunties wana sweat naondoka naenda kwa mwingine.
It was so funny. It was perfect.
Yeah. You know, that was one of the most interesting parts of that ruracio.
Oh yeah, and I remember fighting about it with my parents because I did the program. And because I'm an events person, so I'm like, this is ideally how me start joining happen kwa, but history less so it happened before because lazima it happen. But then tunakosana na kina mom na my uncles and stuff because wanataka it happen later after someone. I'm like, what is that? So nani anapreachiwa kama siko? Alafu nilikuwa nataka staki ukakwa house for so long. I was already bored. I was already tired. Yeah, and I'm like, I didn't want to see how this guy looks. So at least they switch it up and then yeah.
Wow. Hey, that must have been a beautiful day. I can't wait to see the video.
By the time Jioni nafika, you're like,
yeah.
Next.
And we had good pictures. Oh, it was such a milestone. I remember us feeling.
But also this is for guys who are Christians and want to observe purity. Unaona mkishamaliza ratio mna feeling you want to reward yourselves.
Oh, Jen, like you.
As in like I'm married. This close to married. As in no? Traditionally. Yes, we are married. Yeah. So if you're not sane and you're surrounded by sane people,
Tenda home.
Uta pre-harvest. Utakula stock before. So if kama hiyo siku tungekuwa tempted tuambiwe na mtu twende home. Because we feel like we've gone through so much, we deserve the reward. Yeah. And
but traditionally you're married.
Yeah.
Tell your pastor that.
Yeah. But there's this thing that a lot of my friends when tunaongea about the ruracio, at the end of it all you go home broke ile ukweli but very satisfied. Hauna kakitu, probably don't even know where your breakfast for kesho is coming from, but una feel ile furaha niko nao naweza kosa kukula wiki mbili. Because so that process puts a weight on you. Una feel like watu hawaelewi ile tuna go through.
It's Like it kind of proves a point that the man is able to provide for the wife. So inakamna pressure, a lot of pressure.
It just relieves pressure. Unaanza kuwa na wedding iko wapi, twende sasa.
Twende. And also it shows you that the impossible is now possible.
Yeah.
Because I had pressure for ruracio more than the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Because the ruracio is like a glue. It's bringing families together now to deal with a wedding.
Yeah.
Because now if you don't handle this one,
you know, ruracio is yours to handle as the guy. Once you become one, the wedding becomes everyone's business. It can't fail. Ni sisi wote sasa tuko involved.
Because unajua wife hawezi kupatia do mbai as in like as shika.
Well, mimi nimesikia ma story.
But hizo story unasikia jamaa after that yurudisha. Now na before jamaa anaitikia apatiwe do akatoe pale na hata afadhali boys wangu aniwai niambie shika enda utoe when you refund after. But it's still cultural. It's you cannot put word on it and say it's wrong because of my integrity, or it's because culture has proven you must honor the parents in a certain way. So it's for the guys who are watching and wonder why you do ruracio. You cannot buy a woman. You cannot put a price tag on her. So that process is for honor. It's just for honor and honor to the parents. And when you do that, you bring even honor to the lady. That following that process, despite how much it is hectic and asks for a lot from you as a guy, it does so much even for the lady. Yeah.
Okay. Switch gears. Now we go to the wedding. The preparation, not the actual day. The period between now after ruracio and the wedding day. Alex hizi vimbo because
anazijua in his heart.
Mama tunashindana nao kila Saturday. Siku hizi hata wasipoima na mimi naleta mic.
Hey, so yeah, the process like finding the right vendors, because we've had stories of vendors really can let you down.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, we've had stories of people who promise you heaven, deko tutaweka hivi. On that day they don't even bring one flower. So what was your process like, hunting for the ground? And now during all this process, what is your psychological mind like between the two of you? Like the psychological situation, vile mna feel like, are you guys on the same page? Are you fighting? Are you, we need to understand what's going on during that period.
Were you a bridezilla?
Well, I was not, I'd like to think. I don't think I was. Anyway, I prayed about every single detail of the wedding.
Yeah.
I needed God to be a part of everything.
Yeah.
To as small as fabric, what colors do I pick? Yeah. I didn't want the common colors at the time, and I didn't want the kawaida bridesmaids look or gown or whatever. So I remember really talking to the Holy Spirit and just praying to God about every single detail, even to the car I will be riding on that day. And so I never, in every place we went to, there was always a deep conviction that yes or no. And I remember my best mate telling me, you're very decisive. And I'm like, yeah, see 50-50, because I'm working in partnership with the Holy Spirit. So that for me gave me a lot of ease in terms of making certain decisions and even picking the right vendors. Hata tukimit na msee na niko like Z, by then is Z. Ama inakuwa tu, no, there was an off feeling. There was something off. So that was in terms of choosing vendors for me personally. And then the fighting off is always there. And I remember us thinking about changing the date of the wedding. And it was, kulikuwa na, Alex and I are agreeing on something. Then we go meet our friends. Then them, they have ideas. Okay. Then we go meet mom. Mom has ideas. So now by the time we're done talking to people, everybody has poured in their fantastic ideas of how our wedding should be. So si tumesahau what ideally it would look like. And now I'm like, but you and I agreed, but when we're in front of them, you're saying something different. You know, and so we would really fight about that. And I remember the last one was December, right after Christmas, and it was for, by then, you know what, tunaweza get married wherever, because the fights were now, it was too much. Every conversation we have, by the time tunaka sisi wawili tu tunakosana, because what you said in front of people and what you said when we were together yesterday, as he add up. So there was those, and then now we're learning that yes, we are both events people, but it's on a different level. I have certain attention to detail, and he has attention to other detail, but it's different from what I would consider priority or important. So tuna clash. Nakumbuka tulifight juu ya guest list. Nakumbuka ukiniambia just do you. So because me nataka kutuma invites with customized names. So Mr. and Mrs. or so and so. And I'm like, who's your list? Give me your list. Wow. I think ilifika point nilikuwa like, stop sending me names, because then amenitumia the main list, but next week anaambia oye babe, naongeza tu majina 3. The next week naongeza tu majina 10. Nilikuwa nimesahau sijui nani. I was like, my guy, nimemalizana na story ya invites. So I remember that period.
I think the night before kuna invites nilikuwa nasukuma.
I'm like, who are you still inviting? I mean, saying, because tumesema we'll have 300 people. I think we sent over 500 invites. Because hiyo nini?
We're going to kumkara kevu maze kutoka. Wewe huwezi hata.
Umekutana na msee uko like, By the way, tulikuwa tunakosana, but then somehow, because I remember even that week, niliandika nini kwa program ya wedding? I think couples dance or a game, one of the two. So we were arguing between the two. I remember him thinking it's not necessary to do the first dance. I'm like, what? Wedding ni kesho kutwa. But then tukakosania tu hapo, because I was like, what? That's nonsense. So now he's mad, I'm mad, he hangs up, and then now we cool off, and then we call each other and be like, okay, sawa.
Kwa hiyo kwa process ya kupanga harusi, hapo ndio unajua unaoa nani na unaolewa na nani.
Oh yeah.
Especially when the money issue comes in. Because wedding icona step by step process. And then icona, if you guys have an inner circle, you're planning it here, and then there is your parents at home, and then the parents of the groom at home. They have their own desires and expectations.
Yeah.
You have. So bringing it to become one.
And both of us are still figuring out how to be united in front of parents. So yeah, naenda home anaongeleshwa na mom, mimi naenda home naongeleshwa na mom. By the time tunarudi uko like, hey, where is the unity thing tulifundishwa ndoa iko? Ni wapi? Iko? Cause sioni ukinitetea mbele watu wenyu.
Cause unaenda home unaambiwa kitu na unabaadhi hiyo kitu
ina make sense. So unaenda kwa msa wako anakukumbusha tuli agree. Like, oh, okay.
Bado uko usha agree.
I remember the first time that someone sent us money. So someone really blessed us and paid for the venue, right? So they sent us money. They sent us the whole amount. And for me, the way I spend, the money is for the grounds. So at least to try grounds. But Alex tells me no to pay half. I was like, no. What does that mean? Why would we pay half na tumelipiwa? Then anataka kuniexplain, no, ido inaweza kama ido vitu zingine. I'm like, usi ametuma ya venue. Na hatujui kama by the time wedding inakaa mtakuwa tumesort stories za venue zote. So I remember that day calling my best friend and be like, guy, I'm getting married to this man. The one who spends money the way anaona to distribute aka coin to everywhere. But yet, my gosh. But honestly, so for me, your part don't realize money, how he spends his money. All this other dating stuff, it was fantastic. But this was real. Because nilikuwa najua he's the kind of person to buy tokens for that day. Why buy tokens for the month? Me, I'm the person to buy tokens for the month, so that I don't think about it. So now in a campaign, he's that person. So me sikuwa na understand. So cause unajua kesho unadidelek. So ulipe tu for the whole month. So hii story inakam play out wedding, even on a distribute do. So do ikikam in a distribute you are evil. I was like, wow.
Marriage may change by the way. Mimi nilikuwa msewa, I have security I have to have it.
That's my baki nayo.
Acha ni baki na kitu. That's my
Yeah,
security.
like just take care of it.
Mafuta unabaya 7 bob ya kupika hiyo day. Kesho tutabai tradina.
Me I don't live like that. I remember that day made me panic and I had to call my best mate and be like, okay, so what? So she's the one who made me see his point of view. Because for me, I thought he was really being unreasonable. I was like, just pay for the venue. To do a venue, it's catered for. Tukiulizwa tana committee, tunasema venue imesortiwa. Si venue imesortiwa lakini ni half. Then you half ingine tutafute.
That process helps you realize who you are getting married to.
Yeah.
And also it helps be very real with yourself. You're like, hey. Msichana anaelewa ni harusi ni ya pesa ngapi
Oh yeah.
Na tumesema gown ni how much? Wewe hauko sure. Wewe suti yangu na groomsmen wangu wote ni gown yako.
That was a funny conversation. Baby, last man ningemwanzia mbali mwambia sawa babe. This is the dress. It's the like I have a conviction. I know for sure it's the dress. Kwa nini uniambi ni how much? Because alikuwa anashindwa, why am I pampering you up? I'm like, but this is the amount. Nasema it's the dress. Hautaki kufanya window shopping tena uone. It's the dress. Suit is yeah. Ai hata ukiongeza za bridesmaids zinaweza ingia tu hapo ndani.
Unaweza kabisa zingine hapo ndani.
Tell my wife, hiyo kitu utaipa once in your entire life.
Ai yangu yetu tumepigisha mbizi huku. Tazirentisha huku.
Tumepigisha mbizi.
Hiyo doa zime.
Tumeivadi wakaribu kuisha.
Mimi suti yangu inaniuma kwa ziliva kwa harusi peke yake.
Because alibafa.
Nilianza kubafa. So juzi nimefanya nivae asika itoshi nataka kurudisha huko ongeza matiri. Hiyo nguo. Lazima niitumie.
And so now what I think is good to share is probably now your relationship with vendors. Because you guys, since the two of you are in the event industry, I'm assuming mlikuwa mnajua watu like event providers, sound, tent. So how was that relationship? Was it smooth or was it something that you needed to keep following up? And then the contribution of your family and friends to your wedding planning, not financially per se, but just
their role.
The role they played.
I mean, there is a nimecheka because tukianza story of service providers, there's a service provider my wife had worked with before. So can you this one
Honey.
this one is the one. This one I know this one. There's when I'm saying this one because I mention this one. Mimi wana nikwambia huyu hauwezi tuangusha huyu. Nikasema tuma quotation. Acha ambiwa tume quotation ya tulipisha how much. Quotation yake ilikuwa 1.3 million.
Actually ilikuwa almost 1.9.
Kila kitu. Department moja. It was one department. Ilikuwa nakuja 1.9 million. Nilikuwa naangalia nikaa ni pesa. Bila naangalia doko na kani original. What do you mean? Kwa hiyo tunanunua grounds. So there are people who you thought like huyu sini nani wewe acha usikie unasikia una fade because of relationships. You're like this person tumetoka naye mbali, but in the same magnitude is how we were overwhelmed by people who supported us in the same way. And like we find like sound sikulipia sound we as in it's you you know. And also if not free, very good rates. Like cater for transport, or you know, just cater for this,
or appreciate
me in this level. Until date I'm very grateful even to the lady who did our food. because she did amazing food.
Yeah.
And even numbers surpassed to,
And she still
to almost
took care.
200 people.
Yeah.
She took care of it
Yeah.
and didn't charge me even cent.
Imagine.
Colleen, God bless you.
Yeah.
Imagine that level of magnitude of gazin nashindwa maze hata sijui naweza kulipa aje. So I cannot say unless my wife can counter it, I can't say there is a service provider who let us down.
Actually, no. All of them came
All
through.
of them came
All
through.
of them came through.
And from keeping time,
Yeah.
service delivery, and quality, it was
Just because it was a bit fair in terms of what we could afford at the time, it didn't change the quality. It didn't change the delivery. They did a fantastic job.
you know there's a fear of when someone is giving you a fair rate or free.
Una expect mediocre. Ama na uwezi itisha for excellence because you're not paying for excellence. Yeah. So
And there's this thing they keep telling you, na ile pesa ulitoa.
So
I know, haikubali hizo nini.
demand for too much.
Yeah. But now, for us to look back and look at all our vendors from decor, sound, DJ, MC, food, all these guys, it was very fair rates. And also in terms of, you have to pay deposit at a certain time and then you have to pay the full amount at a certain time. They extended us so much grace. So it wasn't at to move, at to eat raka itoki bila atutoki. No, there's no scenario like that. Yeah. I know.
Because other grounds, we got a 40% discount.
Yeah.
Just because I've ever hosted a wedding there.
Let me just say this. My husband has built very good relationships at that time. And God knew what seeds he was planting. Because all the people who supplied for us, they are people he has worked with before. And it's people he has not just people he's worked with, full stop. No. He has good relationship with. There's a way that my husband interacts with people that I'm not able to. But your season, I could see why it's important to have the right people around you. Yeah.
By the grace of God, because also in that process, that's when you get to know who's real who, as in the real people.
Because ulipomesema hiyo story ya contribution and the roles the family and friends played, because there are people you are still huyu ni wa 100 Gs huyo anakutumia 5 Gs uko like sasa inafaa kudu nini nayo itasort nini which area
Ndio kuchorea unamtumia message
kwa WhatsApp
ya kuminvite kwa group na kuchapa bluti.
Imagine
ulikuwa umemtegemea bana.
I don't know even the backstory ya hiyo group, your WhatsApp group. So we had said that we've been part of so many WhatsApp groups. Sema mimi sitaki kuwa hiyo. Sitaki mambo ya group mimi. Kwa mimi watu tunafanya harusi. Hapana. God will provide. God will give us resources through our hands and our jobs and will finance our own wedding. Watu wakuja wakule. We had a plan. And like, this is how it's gonna work. So let's work seriously for the next 3 months. Work hard.
Pull to the wedding.
Pull resources. Nini. We don't need our WhatsApp. We don't need to beg people for money. We can do this. Can we? Hands up. Bring it in. Money. Let's do this. Wacha nikwambie. Mungu akasema, unataka kusema nyinyi mli finance. Harusi. Miezi 3. Sawa. We. Tukajiita mkutano, I think 2 months too. Sema hey. Now who will manage it? We need our friends. And remember, my wife hakuwa nataka anything to do with. I was saying, hapana. Me my friends ninaponikitisha pesa. Hapana. Nikamwambia.
But also the fear came from, I felt like I had to build relationship to that level. Because me nilikuwa naingishwa kwa WhatsApp group and I'm like, we're not even friends. As in, we're just so I was like, so me, now I'm not working, which means my friends are new, so it's not the people I'd go to before. But then I have to go to those. I was like, wow.
It's like a low. As in,
but then it was a real low.
I was like, pride and dignity yako inaweka hapa. Unaenda sasa unasema.
Sasa niaje? Have you been?
I used to form that group. Form. Na delete. Na delete.
What?
Until now, a month to the the wedding, I was like, hatuwezi avoid.
Lazima tuna need help.
Now
I invited everyone. Na nikazima data
you know, so the initial idea, niliambiwa say one, we will not add people. We will send them an invite.
Yes.
So mse anafinya anajiingiza yeye mwenyewe. Kwa siku nataka ati wase nianze ku left. Kai. So it's all left. Niambia tu ni simu imeibiwa.
Yeah. So ilikuwa ukitaka kwa hapo
unaingia group. So wase wakaingia. So at first we didn't want to be in there.
Yeah.
Because we'll be disappointed with what is happening.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey.
But committee, our subcommittee kadogo akasema hapana, kweni kwa hiyo group.
Lazima mkue.
So what
na tuseme tuko na pesa.
Na tuseme tuko na pesa. Remember kwa group tulisema tuko na 100,000. We didn't have it. We had nothing. But you can't tell people you have nothing.
Yes, you can.
So tumefikisha hapa na kwa uwezo wetu tumefikisha 100 G's.
Guys, no, we want a wedding for 550,000. We have 100 tusaidie. Na hiyo mia. No.
But hata hiyo 550 imepita kidogo ukiangalia budget. Because tuliandika kila kitu budget, unataka kuona nini utatoa. Iko 6
550
inakaa. Watu hata feel kandomo. You're not asking for a lot. Hey, that's too much.
So tukaandika 550 hapo. Mie tuko nayo.
No.
Haya, wacha kidogo kumeanza cricket huko. Wase wako. Unaingia group hakuongewi.
Chama anaongea peke yake.
Chama anajiongelesha hapo asubuhi after na jioni. Unasema guys, hii harusi tutafanya watu. Then you know you're looking at this. So unasema this is how the only way we can raise money. At home there is no money because they also need to fund their own things.
Yeah.
At home wanajipanga pia in their own way. So you cannot depend on them and them for anything concerning this. So your heart and mind is in this group. You're like, I've brought my friends together. Her friends are there. Some relatives are there. Let's see what we can do in this group. Acha nikwambie. I think what started bringing me hope because we had a group of ilikuwa na say 100 and something. So I'm like, it's a lot of people. And the people who have joined this group
minus 20. Remove the 20 who our bride
bado team bado iko hapo.
Bado team iko.
Wezi waambia contribute.
Just for numbers sake.
Hii suit already wana sweat. Hii suit
for nini? For numbers sake.
Groupsmen hata wagongeleshi wako haso ya hii suit.
It was so funny. It was so funny. I'm like, no one is calling my husband. I'm like, what is the problem? But everyone is really looking. Hey,
Because wedding by the you affect paka nini. The Baido team. Baido team yuko affected sana. Because kuna loyalty ya you have to be there for me. Na bado situation ya we don't have the money for what is being expected. So even as a bride and groom you have to be very realistic in what you're asking them of them. Usitishe suti mazee ya Tom Ford ya 40k. And unajua your boy mazee your boy. Rent yenyewe ni akona arias. Atuzote tunataka Tom Ford.
Zelipa rent na nunue suti bana.
Na hataki kuacha, hataki friendship yenu iishe.
So it's okay if asipokukall. Mwache tu.
So every time mnamida na kwa amejam. I think some of my groomsmen walifurahia day ahead.
I think that's the time they enjoyed the wedding the most. Yeah.